Well, good morning. I'm going to take you back a year. This was a topic I shared at Winter Bible School in 2024, confusing love and leniency in parenting. So no, I don't have everything figured out, but we're going to go through this morning and look at some Bible doctrines and some examples and apply it in our home settings as well. In 1 Samuel, we can read about, we see Eli. And we know priest Eli, and Eli had his two sons, and they were priests with him as well. But unlike their father, unlike Eli, his sons had a bad reputation. The Bible calls them, they were sons of Belial. It's a harsh term referring to someone who is worthless and wicked. So again, their dad was priest, and so were they, and this is the reputation they had. They were guilty of extortion. They were taking meat that was from sacrifices that they were not allowed to have. If you know the Old Testament story, the priests were allowed to have some, but they were taking meat that they were not allowed to have. Plus, they were guilty of sexual immorality with the women who gathered at the gate of the temple, and we can find that in 1 Samuel 2:22. So we have some wicked men here, although at this time they were priests. If we move along, the Bible tells us that Eli, he encouraged his sons to change their ways, but they did not obey him. A few verses later in chapter 3, we find the Lord, he comes to speak with Samuel. And we know the story of Samuel as well. And he told Samuel, he said, I'm going to judge Eli's family forever because of the sins which Eli knew about, referring to how his sons blasphemed God. But the Bible says that Eli failed to restrain them. 1 Samuel 3, verse 14. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offering forever. And what we see here, in a nutshell, very quickly, is a story with a sad ending. A story that I believe could have been different had Eli taken his role as a father more seriously. So parents, this morning, parenting is a responsibility that carries grave consequences if we neglect it. And not trying to be hard on Eli. We could take sides with Eli. We could say, okay, time out. The Bible tells us Eli tried to correct his sons. But then as we read through the story, we find this, that the Lord mentioned that Eli failed to restrain them. So, according to the Bible, Eli gets the blame for what happened here. He failed to take care of his sons. So back to the title, Confusing Love and Leniency in Parenting, the question could be asked, as we look at the example of Eli, was he a parent who was parenting with love or leniency? Confusing love and leniency in parenting. So take another close look at that title. And what do we see here? And the first thing we see is that there will be confusion. Again, this was a title that was assigned to me. But anyway, there will be confusion when parents train their children. And as they do that, they switch back and forth between love and leniency. So ponder that for a moment, and then the question could be asked, how would you describe parental love? And the definition is quite large.